Hey everybody, Allie Craig here for Entreventure. On this week's episode of Getting Known, we're talking about how in the world do event planners or speaking events say yes to you. Speaking event industry has completely changed, and I'll be honest, I personally don't think it's changed for the better. When I started doing speaking many years ago, it was really either you were paid to get and do a presentation. That was lovely. Or they knew that you had the best information and it was a personal invite and you did it as gratis. Both actually really lovely because at that point, this audience wasn't burnt. They weren't expecting you to pitch them. They weren't expecting you to try to bait and switch them or anything like that. They knew that you were there only because you had the best information, and that's why you were there. And so therefore, they are more interested to learning your information, actually implementing it, and viewing you as the expert. Long gone are those days, though, for the most part. If you do anything that's more than just an inspirational presentation or a keynote where you're actually doing any kind of training, guess what? Most of the time, the reason why people get the stage events aren't because they're the best, it's because they're willing to pay the money. Yes, now speakers pay to get up on stage and try to sell to the audience. Well, when the audience has been around enough, they realize in the end, this is just a pitch-a-thon, and so they're not really A, listening to you, or B, really thinking you're all that great. The reason why you can sell from stage is because you're either really good at manipulating the emotion or the audience is really not that bright. So what do you do when you find an event where none of that's actually a factor? It isn't a pay-to-play model. It isn't that they're trying to be a pitch-a-thon from the stage and you have to split the revenues. That it's actually one of these rare little gems in an event where they are so audience focused. The audience is paying a high price to get there, and they want to make sure that you, the potential speaker, are delivering your absolute best. You got to make sure everything's on point. You have to make sure that number one, you know your point of contacts and you know what they want and don't want. Number two, make sure you research the event. And if it's a brand new event, then make sure you research the event host. Who is really putting this on? What is their audience goals? What is their target goals? And how can you help them get to the next level? If you can show as a speaker that you don't just have great numbers and great content, but you have ways and methods to help get their message out there, share the event and all that fun stuff, you're going to look good in the eyes of whoever is saying yes to the potential speakers on stage. This is a relationship. At an event, every event host knows and every event planner knows that the dynamics of the speakers and all of that play greatly into the energy of the room. So they want to have the best energy possible, which means you got to bring your A game every single time you're interacting and connecting with these people. That's how you get on stage. That's how you end up being able to speak to audience that realize, oh my gosh, this isn't a pitch-a-thon. This actually is an expert. So I'm going to listen in better. And more importantly, I'm going to now value the information even at a higher level, AKA making you even look more like an expert and hopefully getting the sale in the end too.